fast as I can. Real Delulu, yelling out my man for that river bend, river bend, river bend, river bend, on Port Kelly land, and I'm still Delulu, yelling out my man.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So this whole debacle of this trans woman coming out and saying that biological women cannot gatekeep periods because of the fact that, you know, that does not make them more of a woman than a trans woman is crazy as hell. Now, T.S. Madison did come out and say some things to Just Hilarious, but I'm not going to get into it because for some reason I feel like T.S. Madison, you know, she has now become a pioneer for the trans community, quote unquote. I feel like that's taken away from the conversation for right now, for what I'm going to talk about. And let's focus on what this trans woman said. So check this out.
This is what I mean when the transphobia just comes out, the audacity and just the arrogance for cis women to believe that they own periods, that they own womanhood. You don't. Okay, you don't own periods. You don't own womanhood. You experience both, and both are different for every person. But as a cis woman, it doesn't belong to you, so you can't gatekeep it. Like, hello?
Girl, have you lost your goddamn mind? Like, seriously, have you lost your mind, girl? How you gonna tell a biological woman she's not a woman because she has a period? When what makes you a woman? Being able to birth children. You as a trans woman cannot birth kids. But let me let Jess Hilarious tell you what the fuck she said, because clearly this is what caused this whole stir.
Who the fuck is gonna stand up for us? Who the fuck stands up for us? And us, I mean women, real women, biological women, women who were born with all the parts that you guys wish that you were. When does the delusion stop? What is the difference between you and someone who has been diagnosed to be mentally insane? What's the only difference is you don't have a straitjacket on. Stop talking out your fucking ass. Wake up. How are you projecting your anger on real women? Because we are the gatekeepers. We are the gatekeepers for periods. We the only one that fucking bleed, honey. We the only ones that can give birth. We make y'all people. We make y'all. Y'all come from us. You can't be us. You will never. You're chasing something you'll never, ever get. You'll never be that.
Like, hello?
Now, Jess Hilarious came out and told us that the story she told us about how she got hit by somebody with a blue check mark, don't know who, and they'll keep it like that, that they DM'd her while they were drunk, and that person wanted her to fuck him because he thought she was a transgender. Now, a lot of us as black people got very strong features, and a lot of niggas use, you know, a dig by saying that a girl like a man, and that's not right, especially black women, because it's not fucking cool. But it's just the fact that, really, bitch? All I can say is really. Now, the next person I'm going to show you that pulled us some tea and gave a good spiel was Paradise Paris, who spoke very eloquently. So check this out.
While everyone is in an uproar about who can bleed and who can't, men have become so obsessed with women that they want to turn into one. And I find it quite flattering that womanhood seems so great to you guys. Y'all know me, you may not like what I gotta say, but I'm gonna say it anyways. In recent conversation, there's been a lot of uproar between trans women and real women. In my opinion, I think the most misogynistic thing that a man can do is reject his biology as a man and go into women-dominated spaces telling other women how he's a better woman than them because it's based off of his feelings of how he perceives a woman to be, while walking in society emulating what he believes a woman looks like by replicating other women. When we're discussing womanhood, I cannot go to another woman and ask her what it feels like to be a woman, because being a woman is not a feeling. However, being a woman, I absolutely am subjected to my reproductive organs that identify me as a woman. And saying that doesn't mean that I'm less than a woman. It just means that that is the beginning of my woman origin and my woman experience. And for the women who can't have a baby, we still recognize those women as women because they do have the reproductive organs to do so. However, we also understand that something is medically wrong with them. I will give credence to the fact that women are not the only people who have a period if we're identifying them that way, because non-binary people or trans men actually can also have a period, but at the basis of it, we call those biological women. However, when you're talking about trans women, we understand that that is something that biologically impossible you cannot do. The power struggle here that comes into play is when there is a very small minority of people imposing onto a larger group of people that are telling them what they would like to be called, how they would like to be treated, how they would like to be pronounced, and how they would like to be identified, but then you're imposing terminology onto them that they have yet to accept. So I must appease your feelings calling you by the pronouns that you identify with as, because you have chosen to make this decision about putting on a wig and putting on nails and putting on a dress. However, when I tell you I reject terms like birthing person or breastfeeder or real woman or biological woman or cisgendered woman, at this point then I should just understand and accept it because science says so. But science also says that the basis of your DNA, you are biologically a male. So why are we not listening to science all the way across the board? Seems a little hypocritical to me. And since everyone has such an issue with understanding Just Hilarious, let me go ahead and put my cape on because I think I could break it down for you a little bit more. It's very disingenuous for you to overshadow that woman's feelings in regards to her womanhood when she actually has given birth to a baby, which biologically that does make her a woman. However, you decided to discuss her looks and says that she looks like a trans person while you're also attempting to advocate for trans people. It's giving inherent transphobia. Also, to resurface the interview where she's relaying her experience of a man DMing her thinking that she was a trans woman to have sex with her probably offended her because she's an actual woman, and it should be more of a slight to trans people considering the fact that that person has a fetish and just wanted to sexualize you and use you as an inanimate object. As a black woman, we have to be extremely mindful of how we attach ourselves to other intersectional groups when it comes to their issues, because we're always the first to remind people nobody respects us and nobody protects us, but we're the first to jump into the line of fire when other people need a defense. So here's a few things to remember when you're talking allyship. They're always present when it's time to give the tea or bash heterosexual men and amplify any bad experience that we've had in regards to our relationship issues. But anytime it's time to help these children and provide for them or be a better role model or even your protection, they are nowhere to be found. Not saying that there is an agenda, but I will say for a very small group of people who seem to not have any effect on anybody, when their issues come up in conversation, they're making a huge ruckus, and their representation comes at the basis of overshadowing other marginalized people.
Did she lie? Fuck no. Now, what I will say is to her plight though, cause let's be fucking for real. Black women are the most unprotected women in the world. That's fucking truthful. The femicide rate for black women is every 4 hours somebody's being taken out, and 9 times out of 10 is by a black man. Let's be real. You know, as trafficking is very serious, and you know, it's crazy that this conversation, because somebody said, you know, it's cis women's fault that trans women are getting unalived because y'all are putting out speak pieces against us, and this is why we're dying. And it's like, but also the fact that trans women, a lot of y'all do not disclose that y'all trans, and when a man finds out who is not fetishizing y'all gotta go. And I'm not condoning being taken out, you know, by being who you are, but be realistic. Y'all be exposing men, especially DL men, and they don't want their masculinity being taken out, so they get rid of y'all, and that's messed up. And you don't hear trans men get into the debate about what's a real man because they know that they're biologically a woman. Now, this next clip is from Hope Giselle, and she's kind of going against Just Hilarious. But before we get into that, let me see what she says. So check this out.
I find it funny that people are even asking questions about who stands up for cisgender women when you have men that are out here killing us based off of the opinions of cisgender women every single day. Cisgender women are not under attack from the fact of the matter that there are some delusional trans women in the world, just like transgender women are not under attack because there are some cisgender women who believe that we are the devil incarnate. At the end of the day, that was the opinion of one person. And instead of having conversations where y'all talk about the nuances of the fact that one person should not be the spokesperson over the entire community, y'all love to use moments like this to share your real thoughts about how you really feel. And what you really feel, Jess, is that despite how many conversations that you've had with anybody, whether they've been good conversations, bad conversations, or indifferent conversations, you don't fuck with the girls, because at the end of the day, your trauma tells you that a lot of motherfuckers see you as one of the girls. And so to continuously separate yourself from us, you have to go on these tirades every now and again to prove that you are a real woman. If you own womanhood, sis, move in that, sit in that, because it's unshakable. Obviously, you're shaken. Stop being shook.
Now, let's be realistic again, because she didn't tell no lies either. You know, she's going against Jess. I still feel she's coming from. There are a lot of trans women a little better than some women. Let's be real. Yes, there are. And of course, Jess Hilarious got offended by what was said because she's been told that she's a man, that she's like a man. And, you know, she had a right to be fucking mad because she's not a fucking man. But let's also be fucking for real. This conversation is always happening because there's a divide in the community of trans women and real women. And I hate the fact we had Key has conversation. Like I said earlier, trans men do not do this shit. But with that being said, there should be no reason why a trans woman ever come before a real woman. That's on period. That's on period. Because, again, y'all are aspiring to be women. And at the end of the day, y'all can't live the life of a real woman because you weren't born like that. And even the part of, you know, this conversation of birth certificates about, you know, being able to change your sex on it. Why the fuck would you do that when you're not born in that gender? So take it with a grain of salt, my opinion, because I'm a man. And, you know, like the Paradise Paris said, a lot of men get in women's business. But as someone in the LGBTQ community, we understand that this is fucking crazy. And a lot of us, just gay men, do not identify how the trans women think. And a lot of gay men do not even deal with trans women. But, you know, I still love everybody in the gay community, period. But it's just, this is no need to have this conversation constantly. Because at the end of the day, guess what? You're not real women. But still love y'all, though. Want y'all to be protected. Want y'all to live your lives to the fullest. Because no one should be getting taken out because of who they are. But constantly lying to men, constantly exposing men for their fetishes is going to do that. So can we please stop? I just pray everybody is protected by who they are. But anyways, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Peace.
Someone once told me the grass is much greener on the other side.